Pioneers, something just surfaced that could completely flip the future of Pi Network forever. And I need you to hear this with a clear mind and an open heart. A leak from inside Apple's upcoming iOS 19 system has just exposed payment code that lines up perfectly with one blockchain network. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, not Solana, Pi Network. The structure of the transaction flow, the way it handles mobile verification, consensus, and security circles, all match Pi's architecture with terrifying precision. This isn't a random guess or a fan-made concept. This is real system-level code pointing directly at Pi. And before you dismiss this as internet noise, you need to understand who leaked it. This same developer has exposed major Apple features months before official announcements, and every single time, he was right. And before you dismiss this as internet noise, you need to understand who leaked it. This same developer has exposed major Apple features months before official announcements, and every single time, he was right. He revealed emergency SOS inside the dynamic island long before Apple made it public. People doubted him then, too, until Apple proved him right. Now he's done it again. And 2 weeks after this leak, an anonymous Apple employee posted about internal partnership talks with a mobile-first cryptocurrency that already has tens of millions of users. There's only one project on Earth that fits that description cleanly. Only one stem changes at its worldwide developers conference in June, then deploys them to the world in September. If this integration is real, June is when the world finds out, and September is when everything changes. Now listen closely, because if this happens, this isn't just an upgrade. This is not just another partnership. This is an explosion-level event for Pi Network. And before we go any deeper into what this could mean, I want you connected, because news like this will move fast, and the moment confirmation drops, everything will shift. Follow closely, stay plugged in, and do not rely on rumors drifting through comment sections. Now here's the question many skeptics keep asking. Why would Apple ever choose Pi over Bitcoin or Ethereum? And the answer is brutally simple. Bitcoin is slow. It takes 10 minutes or more per transaction. Apple Pay processes payments in seconds. Bitcoin fees surge to dollars during high usage. Apple Pay charges pennies. Bitcoin is complicated even for experienced users. Apple's entire business model is built on making complex technology feel effortlessly simple. Pi solves the exact problems that block Bitcoin and Ethereum from mass adoption. Pi was built for mobile first. Pi was built for ordinary people. Pi already has more than 50 million users who understand how it works without needing a finance degree. Apple spent 15 years training the world to live inside a smartphone. Pi is the first cryptocurrency that truly belongs inside that world. Now here's the part almost nobody understands, and it's the part that changes the entire GCV debate. People laugh and say if Pi is used to buy coffee, it cannot be worth hundreds of thousands. That argument only makes sense if you think like a customer buying snacks. Apple does not think like that. Apple processes people laugh and say that if Pi is used to buy coffee, it cannot be worth hundreds of thousands of assets. If Pi is priced at $10 and most of the supply is locked in user wallets, the liquid supply becomes dangerously small. Now imagine trying to push billions of dollars through that network every single day. It becomes impossible. Transactions begin to fail. Liquidity dries up. Checkout systems throw errors. It becomes a nightmare for a company that cannot afford even 1 second of embarrassment. Now flip the numbers. At extremely high valuations, you no longer need full coins to move massive money. Microfractions handle large transactions without damaging liquidity. At high value, a limited liquid supply suddenly becomes more than deep enough to absorb global demand. The asset transforms into a true reserve layer, not a fragile token that breaks under pressure. Think about it like water. You cannot push the ocean through a bathtub. You need another ocean to move an ocean. Apple does not need a cheap coin. Apple needs a deep global value container. On Black Friday alone, millions of people shop at the same time. Apple Pay processes transactions at insane speeds. If Pi were cheap with only a small liquid supply, the system would get crushed in minutes. At high value, The same activity barely makes a ripple. That's why high valuation is not generosity. It is not greed. It is mechanical necessity. If Apple ever turns on Pi payments globally, demand will be unlike anything crypto history has ever recorded. And the only way that demand flows smoothly instead of causing chaos is through it is a mechanical necessity, driven by volume, not hype. Now let's talk about timing. Apple unveils its future at its developer conference in June. Then it ships that future to the world in September. That gap allows developers to prepare, regulators to examine, and Apple to fine-tune every detail. If Pi is involved, you will see signals before the announcement. You'll see Pi network system milestones accelerating. You'll see Apple building relationships with crypto payment processors. You'll see Android competitors moving into digital payments faster because Apple hates being second. And as more developers receive early iOS 19 beta access, more leaks will surface. The closer we get to June, the louder the noise will become. If Apple confirms this, the reaction will be violent across the entire financial space. Bitcoin maximalists will scream betrayal. Ethereum supporters will argue about smart contract dominance. Banks will panic about regulation. Governments will scramble to control narrative. And through all that chaos, one truth will cut through everything. Pi will no longer be a theory, but you must remain calm. If this happens, rushing in emotionally, governments will scramble to control the narrative. Standing, not panicked. Learn how the system works. Understand how wallets operate. Learn what non-custodial really means. Study how transactions settle. This is not about chasing headlines. This is about preparing for a shift in how money moves. And while the logic supporting all this is terrifyingly strong, nothing becomes fact until Apple speaks. Leak code can be real. It can also be part of testing. Mathematical models can be perfect on paper, while markets still behave irrationally in the short term. What cannot be denied, however, is what Pi has already achieved. Over 50 million people join not because mathematical models can be perfect on paper, but because markets still behave irrationally in the short term. Whether this year, next year, or whether another tech giant steps in first, Pi has already solved the biggest problem in crypto. Usability. The world does not run on white papers. It runs on tools people understand. So here is the truth I want you to carry in both hands. Hope and caution. Believe in what you're building if you truly believe in it. But never gamble your entire life on a single prediction. Secure your Pi. Maintain your security circle. Stay active. Stay informed. And also live your life fully. Take care of your family. Build your future in multiple ways, not just one. The real revolution will not be fireworks on a single day. It will be quiet, gradual. Millions of people using Pi without even thinking about it.